Oh, there you go. There's your little music intro for you. A little canned heat from way back when in the day. But hey, we all still remember those days. At least I hope you do. If you were there, if you were born after those days, well, you can live it vicariously through the rest of us. So welcome everybody. How you doing? So good to see you. How shall I say, favor be unto you and to us all. I always say this every morning. First thing out of my mouth is nothing missing, nothing broken to be found in my life. And there you go. That's my testimony, and I'm going to stick to it. So, hey, everybody, what's up? It's Friday. Hope you're having a good one. It's a beautiful day here in the neighborhood. We're getting rain. So, hey, I'm expecting a good report out of Northern California because we seem to be getting rain everywhere around. So powerful group here. So what's up, everybody? Hey, Steve, how are you? Good to see you, brother. Gaia, hello, Morning Star. Elderberry, hey, Chloe, what's up? Susie Q, I see you right there. Hey, Nina. I saw your chat there a little bit. I know you're getting ready, so go get them. David Castle, how are you doing, brother? Spirit Woman, hello. Jules, what's up? Cheryl, hello, Isby. Troy, good to see you. And Loretta and Gary, good to see you. It's raining everywhere. Yeah, isn't it, though? Joe Sapien and Reality Notification. I saw True Divine 44, Miss Jennifer. We send you strength. Going out and doing the peaceful protest, civil disobedience. Yes, did that in my life. And listen, that's part of what makes us who we are. And so, Jenny, you go out there and your energy will just be amplified. That's how I look at it. So let us know. All right. Morgan, hello. How are you doing? And Colleen, greetings. Aunt Pele, good to see you. Emperor Rex, hello. What's up? Conscious Evolution, good to see you. Grace, hello. And good Lord, Viola, man, lots of people here. So, I got a lot of emails on the Steiger Perspective last night. One woman wrote me and she said, I have been a lifelong Democrat. And she goes, and I don't know how she got there, but I always enjoy, we have a very large, diverse audience on the Steiger Perspective. And she said, like hell, I'm going to stay in this party. She said, I agree with you. Our government is saying that if you're of a particular party, you have one deity, and if you got that deity, then that means you got a opposite deity over here. She says, hell no. So, sister, right on there, right? Hell no. And I agree with you. So much going on. This has been an interesting week. We have definitely kicked over some sacred cows. There is no doubt about it. Well, it's good to see you too, Isby. Hey, Susan, what's up? Hey, Big Al, good to see you and Perry. Here you're in California heading to Atlanta town or in that direction. We just surround you with favor. That truck could get better gas mileage, and you guys will just have smooth sailing all the way into Georgia. Anyway, hey Peter, what's up? Anyway, yeah, I get a lot of emails on the Steiger Perspective. I like it. It's a lot of fun. Because you can talk without the censors. Ain't that a concept? Gee, free speech. Oh no, not there. But anyway, getting back to this week, we really did do some line stepping, and it's always kind of a pleasure. One of the things I should tell those who are new to this, one thing about this soul tribe, they are a mentally tough bunch, and we love tough minds. But the other thing is that this group is spiritually tough. And when you combine those two together, That's a freaking powerhouse. Hey, Martin and Heidi, how you doing? Good to see y'all. Robert V is in the house. Good to see you, Robert V. Next I think it's a week from this Saturday, July 3rd, we're going to do Brian's celebration, and we'll be showing off the Soul Tribe cards, and we'll get those sold out. Anyway, looking forward to it. Robert, you're doing a great job over there. Hey, Ginger Grin, what's up? Good to see you. Hey, Marsha, I had a dream about you again. Had you on my mind, girl. Guess we're doing some battling in there in the astral planes. But yeah, so we really, when you can see it. Now, I get the emails for those who just seem to have a thing to do, and I don't mind. And the comments are very interesting. There gets a point in some of the comments that I just simply block that individual. It's just not worth it. You know exactly what their energy is, and it, there's some who like the deep end of the pool, and there's some who don't even like the damn pool. We can dig that, and it's okay. We all got our own beliefs, and here we go against a traditional thought, no doubt. I mean, yeah, we don't look at anything as a forbidden topic, because I don't think there really is. So, cheers, everyone. I called in the cool weather, and we got the cool weather. Love it. Hell of a lot better than 105. Isn't that true, Miss Trina? Hey, John Price, good to see you. So, I go back occasionally and look at those books that I really think are probably, unfortunately, not given as much notoriety, call it PR. But there is this guy his name's Mark Prophet, and it's an interesting read. It's called The Soulless Ones, Cloning of Counterfeit Creation. And it's gotten me to think, kind of the premise is this. We know that Yahweh came into the scene pretty late. Well, 4,000 years into Sumerian history, probably another 5,000+ in the Indus Valley, at least. But it is said that an alien race arrived here on planet Earth, and they saw Homo sapiens, and they marveled at the aspect of what somebody else did or was natural. You choose your particular camp. I have a sense that it's kind of a combination. I think for the most part, we're transplants. But anyway, getting back to this thesis, is this, that the God Yahweh, when he saw the work of other gods, came in and tried to duplicate what was already here. The Elohim are a advanced race of geneticists. That's what they do. And anyway, the fact is that the originals, now, if you're connected to the originals, then this is the theme. You actually have what we call a soul. This other God came in, and what he cloned did not have a soul. And yet they look exactly, if you set two Homo sapiens side by side, they would look identical. And in my ever evolving consciousness of knowledge, I believe that is to be true. I think, who's it? Andrew Barrett's is so many other alien races that are telepathically communicating to certain human beings. Now, I believe that that is in fact taking place because in my experience, you know, that happens. In fact, it's the only way it can happen. If there is, in fact, a higher intelligence, a more advanced spiritual beings, more developed, then they don't use words. They would use thought. They certainly wouldn't be speaking English. I think some people think that, well, hell, brother, English is the universal language. Says who? I thought that was math. Am I wrong on that? I don't know. But anyway, so here we are. Now, they say that you can always tell the soulless ones, they're the ones who are always ambitious. They're the ones who always seek to dominate. They're the ones who always seek to make up laws that they inflict on the humans that actually have real souls. It's why all religions are all screwed up. There is no good religion in this planet. I mean, religion. There's a Freudian slip. Government. They're all corrupt. I don't know of one government that is not corrupt. The United States is the worst. We have so much corruption. Hell, the Soviets and the Chinese send their spies over here to learn. And, that would go hand in hand, that if there is corruption in politics, what else would you think that these beings, soulless as they are, would want to dominate? Let's think. Let's do the Jeopardy theme song. Doom, 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 doom. So have you figured out? Religion. Of course. I mean, those are the two powerhouses. Politics and religion. Religion and politics. Politics religion? By the way. So the soulless ones are the ones that get in, they write the script, and they're all about dominion, dominating. Because you see, for them, the afterlife is not one that they see filled with hope. For them, their true perspective is that they're a counterfeit. They don't have anything in which to bear into the spiritual realm with. They're stuck here, you could say. They're made of this substance, of this density, and this is where they stay. And if you think about it, if you look back in the last 2,000 years of humanity, in both its social, cultural, and overall development into the arts and humanities, religion, politics, you will find continually the two houses that dominate all the others. Religion being the corona, and its sidekick would be politics. And these soulless ones, until we actually figure out a way in which to identify them other than just their actions, because the crazy thing is that the ones with souls mimic the soulless ones. And then we have a real screw up. Let's see. Someone says Freemasonry is the order of the Illuminati and the worship of Saturn and the Archons, the Draconian reptilians. Yeah, there's something along the of Enki, Jesus Christ, Marduk. That's exactly it. Did y'all ever see the movie Biloxi Blues? That's a great movie. You ought to go see it some. Neil Simon was a great playwright, and they made two of his plays into movies. And anyway, Matthew Broderick plays the primary role in the movie, and he's a writer. And so the sergeant, who is played by Christopher Watkins, comes in and talks about a latrine. And he goes through the whole litany of every name that you can have, a bathroom litany, the whole bit. And it was quite funny because that's how the gods are really set up. I don't think there's any new ones. I really don't. I think that there was a war that was fought, apparently still being fought, and there's not one ruler to this planet. There isn't. I think in the Western world, we're so indoctrinated to think that the way we think is the rest of the way the world thinks. And that's not true. I'm fortunate here in this channel in the Steiger Perspective that the audience is worldwide, and it helps me to keep balance, to realize that we have, for instance, listeners in Tonga. Yeah, that's out like in the middle of the freaking ocean. And they have a whole different set of beliefs. We have a lot of listeners in Indonesia. And I can tell you, brother and sister, they don't see everything the way that us Westerners see things, or us Europeans. We have listeners in China. We have listeners in Iran. We have to remember is that the perception of what we perceived as God is not perceived as God worldwide. And that's what limits us. Limit us? Yeah, I think that is right. And when you think about this, there is another book I've shown you, The Energetic War Against Humanity, the 6,000 War Against Human Cognitive Advancement. This clone God theory is got some feet to it, because it's very obvious that we don't know history. There's the Mud Fossil University is a great place to go. That's a good place to find yourself and really get orientated. Another one, just do your simple search on architectural buildings and put in the year 1918 to 1924. You see, my friends, there was a worldwide flood that took place. We don't remember it. Our memories have been wiped. History has been rewritten and repositioned. And if you doubt me, then none of the buildings that came out of what they call the Gilded Age, are you going to tell me that human architects actually drew those buildings and then built those buildings all around the world? We can't do it today. And if that was less than 100 years ago, thereabouts, what the hell's going on? Could it be that every god, the Bible, the Quran, the Vedic, all of them were merely written 100 years ago? Oh, well, because these controllers, they literally rewrite history. And us down here, we accept it as fact. In fact, our science, which is made by them, created by them, of course, it will generate the results that they created it for. And of course, mankind says, oh no, well, that's us. That's our, this is where we've advanced to. We've got advanced science. Our PhDs show us, yeah. And then you got the religious heretics that are on there going, I'm telling you, God damn it, it's Jesus. If you don't believe in the fucking Jesus, you're going to fucking hell. And that's about what happens. Yeah, I've dropped 2 F-bombs on that one, folks, because this is the insanity. But we're convinced. And so that these are the positions that we have to take. And look at what it's gotten us. Yeah. It's crazy. And thank you, Elderberry. And the thing that gets you is that if you study this enough, I've ordered a complete book, an architectural book, validating this. And there really is something freaking going on here. There is something going on. And I don't know what it is, but it appears that what we call the fabric of reality is not reality at all. Maybe through the death experience, we awake into what the reality was before this one was changed. And of course, there's a theory that says that if you're awake in this realm, you're dead. Now, your death will only be for a limited period of time. You and I think that we're alive. We think that this tactile action is life, that everything here, I can touch it, this is real, but we're actually dead. We have been sentenced to a period of death, which we call physical life, and thank goodness to whatever merciful son of a bitch that's running this, that we only have to endure this less than 100 years. Well, how does that suit for you? We're already dead. We fear this thing called death because we have part of the sentence that we were sentenced to when we came into this realm was that it's genetically programmed into us to fear release. We think that death is the end of physicality, never realizing that this is really nothing more than a mere sleep of a different kind. And you can't argue against me on that. You cannot prove that you're alive. No one can. I don't care what you say about your body and everything else and how reality seems to be there, but you can't prove that any of that's real beyond the 5 physical senses in this realm. And it changes your whole perspective if you realize maybe that in fact, we're all in this death sentence and that the day of our departure is in fact the day of our release. And let's not hope that we ever have to be sentenced back here again. You see, I think that makes much more sense than coming in and talking about this reincarnation theory. You're only born once, and then you got this here judgment. And, you know, that's all a contrived construct. Because if this was the real, I did a whole series on the birthright. And I told you 4 years ago that this is a false creation. We view birth as our beginning, as the substance of our essences, because this is what we go through. And there's nothing easy about life from your first breath to your last one. It's a struggle. Constant war, constant battle, constant craziness. So many different concepts, religions, ideologies, that it could drive a normal person crazy. That's what this realm does. It's chaos. And so apparently, many of us were sentenced to death. There is one that I will throw out there that some say that it is part of the process. You have to go through this death realm, this realm here. It's not the one coming. The one coming is reality, real reality. This one is an altered reality. And you pick up pointers along this point there, you know, and it kind of blends in with this whole incarnation thing that apparently you can screw up on the other side and get sentenced back here. And not only in this place, but in many different places around the galaxy. Well, that puts a whole different spin on things, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Reverse, because everything in this realm is inverted. Everything. So if they're telling us that that's death, that's actually going into life. You could say, in essence, you are born again into life. You are born out of this. You're released out of this material density 3D hell. Someone wrote me, said, well, I disagree that this is not a prison planet. I didn't ever said that's different themes, but if it doesn't matter what your definition of prison is, but the fact of the matter is that this is the death sentence. Makes you think about longevity, doesn't it? Then it makes you think about, well, the ones who didn't have to go very far. Because isn't that what we do here to punish human beings? You break the law, we're going to send you to jail, to prison, and we're going to give you a set time. We all have a set time. You know, as I told someone once, he said, well, I'll tell you your future. And I said, well, tell me the exact second I die. They couldn't do that. Okay. Guess your future is limited. I can dig that. But that's how we do it here. And so we sentence prisoners, male and female, and we segregate them. We put them in confined areas with restrictive rules. It's exactly the same thing that you and I are living in. Yes, magic is the thing that they can't control. And Spirit Woman, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm just postulating here. This is a tough place. This is why I love this group. This group has tough minds and they're tough spiritually. And it kind of gives us a commonality that if we're all here, that means potentially we screwed up over there somehow. And it's remarkable what we accomplish, but prisoners accomplish remarkable thing in prisons as well. Many get their PhDs. They become doctors. I mean, it's quite amazing what humans can do when they're sentenced to a place that you know you're going to be for the next 80, 90 years. What says the chat room? Thank you, Lois. Thank you for hitting the like button. Yes, thank you. I like that, Gary Nelson. This group is a pool of spirits who found common ground. Yeah. So it's a thought. I happen to think that it's probably the proper way to look at this. When I go to sleep, I go back to my natural state. So do you. You prevent me from sleeping, or you for 3 or 4 days, and you start developing sleep deprivation, which will then begin to completely screw up the melatonin, the serotonin levels in your brain. You start getting chemical imbalances, cause cardiac arrhythmia. I mean, it can freaking kill you. Why? We have to return from where we came from. We can't be deprived from that. So how is this different? It very well could be the true reality. Now, when we talk about magic, spirits, spirit beings, conjuring, invoking, evoking, it seems that that's more real than what is here. Because the way I look at this, the way the religions frame it, is that there it's all right for them to dabble into the spiritual, the magical, the occult, but don't you dare cross that line. As the Prince Harry, well, commoners need the elites to tell them what to think. I got a point in my life where I said, screw that. All my life, I was taught that this Bible, this religion was the thing, and it's a goddamn lie. All religions are a goddamn lie. Not one of them can be right. Because if one of them's right, do you see the causality effect? No. There are so many different religions, which tells me that in a universe, in a dimensional plane, I can see that there could be trillions of religions. Which brings me to the theme. Meanwhile, I want to ask all of you this. Took me 30 minutes to get here. So, are we gods? Are you a god? Let me ask you something and be honest. Everyone in the chat room, and those that are listening on replay, do you ever see yourself and think of yourself as a god? Why not? What do you really think you are? You see, in my religion that I came out of, it was always perplexing to me because I could never figure out where I saw it both in the OT and the NT that says that we are gods. What the hell? So if that's the case, do you see yourself as a god? I was meditating on this and it blew me away. For so long, there was a time where I did, and I felt like, well, this is probably a sin, you know? I mean, if you think that you're a god, I mean, you got this super ego thing. Well, wait a minute. If I'm not a god and they're saying that that is the god, well, then that God's got a super ego. But that God did say that we were gods. So I'm confused. What does it mean to be a god? And why would a god worship another god, even if that other god had a big G and you got a small g? I mean, does size matter? I don't know. What? So if you are a god, why aren't you acting like a god? Why is it so alien for us to think of ourselves as God, goddesses? We think, therefore we are. If you would say unto this mountain, be ye removed, and not doubt in your heart, but believe that those things for which you say shall come to pass, you shall have them. Where'd I hear that? According to your word, let it be so. Did I not tell you that ye were all gods? Isn't it amazing? And our whole life in this death realm is to deprive us our divinity, our standing. We have imitators that have been placed in here now. But I would dare to venture that it could be probably well said that there are billions of gods, potentially trillions of gods. Infinity has no boundaries. I was meditating on this and I began to think, okay, I am a god. Now, if I start thinking of myself as a god, that changes the whole personification of my internal vision of myself, our core, each and every one of us. Now, when you've got 50 years of Christianity and the false Bible slammed into your head, you feel like you're worthless, you're imperfect, you're broken. And they make that pretty well clear. In fact, every religion does. I have yet to find a religion that says, welcome gods. Here you can come and practice. We teach the occult. We teach magic that you think is make-believe and trickery. But here we welcome you all for your initiation, that you begin to learn your true potentiality. And magic is the way that you find that way. Otherwise, you're going to be a servant to another ideology, which they can practice the magic. They whoosh, but don't you dare. You're only a participant. No, no. Way it goes, Susie Q. You bet. But you see, we think it's funny to even think of ourselves as gods. We have been beat down, browbeaten for tens of thousands of years, most likely genetically altered. And when you break the God virus, and it is a freaking virus, then all of a sudden you develop an immunity to all religions. There's nothing a religion can offer me. I don't need it. I don't want your gods. I don't need your books. Because the thing about it is, it's predicated on a servant-master thesis, on a construct. You know, I'm not going to bow down and kiss the ass of any god. White, black, brown, purple, green, I don't care. I am a god. Now, I don't expect someone to kiss my ass, so I'm not about to be expected to kiss someone else's ass. What I am fed up and tired about is to been denied the essence of what I was supposed to be doing here all along. The occult. We get so weirded out on that. All it is hidden knowledge. We know that. Yet, people still struggle with it. And I wonder how much better our spiritual ascension, if you want to go with that, would be if that we realized that we are gods. Each one of us are in our own creation. We experience the energies and the creations of many, many, many others. But while we're in this death realm, it is an opportunity for us to regain what we already had. That's why some of us are good at it. I marvel, you know, we'll get back into the tarot reading again, not right now, but the ability to have someone to be able to zoom in on another god and see the energy, and then have this wonderful tool called tarot that's older than most religions in its true foundation. Or how you can have healers to heal the human body from another human to laying on of hands. If that's not a god, what is that? Is it not a god that where I can become so single-mindedness, so concentrated in my concentration of thought that I can literally manifest that which I'm thinking? That's a god. Don't be afraid, spirit woman. Were you afraid to be born? Were you afraid to start learning how to walk? Listen, you're going to stub your toe. You're going to skin your knees when you start practicing. You're not going to get it right the first time. Nobody does. And what you will learn, and I'll help you, spirit woman, on this and others, learn to believe in your own magic. You can't screw that up. It's impossible. And many of you have figured it out, what I gave you on the golden nugget yesterday. Many of you are in the position that you are in because you have cursed yourself into the position you are at. You are the sole one, only one. Quit cursing yourself. As a god, to curse yourself, that's the most serious offense that you could do. And if you want to be real technical about it, that is sin. For a god to curse itself is to sin against itself. And you don't need a damn religion to figure that out. Morgan, ain't that the truth? We all do. We all stub our toes. Of course we do. Who the first time got into a car and figured it all out? Oh, hell yeah, I know how to drive. Not a problem. I was up at Campanile at the age of 14 and learned to drive out in the Texas Hill Country with an old Ford 150 with a 3-shift on the stick on the steering wheel. That's how I learned. Burned out a clutch a couple of times, but I learned. Magick is the same way. And the great thing about it is you got people like David Barry. I mean, there's an innumerable amount of other channels out there that will teach us anything you want to know about magic. All kinds of magic. Now, I try to bring the rare obscured manuscripts because those are the best ones. We're going to get into the ancient, the old ones, because I think that they play a very major role in this, because this is the death realm. The funeral parlor, the crematory, that is not death. That's your release. In fact, that's how they describe it. Many religions, many beliefs call it a release. Delaney says, I quit cursing, but I do cuss. Well, cussing is not cursing. In our vernacular today, the word F-U-C-K is considered to be a normal part of our nomenclature in our speech. Now, 1,000 years ago, who knows? I'm sure they had another expletive on that. And really, it's just an acronym for, fornication under consent of the king. So it's the things that where you go, I damn myself. Now, that's a curse, and we went into it yesterday. Don't do that shit. Just don't do that. And shit means nothing more. And where shit came from was actually the English, as they began to do more seafarer commerce. They would ship products primarily coming up from the Caribbean and the New World, America. And what they found was that many times the storage that they were carrying across the ocean would get wet and ruined. So they smelt it and they said, well, that smells like shit. And so the captain, they realized that, well, then store high in transit. Okay, I can dig that. Joan says, let's see if we get this right. Oh, it's Bernadette. Yeah. Self-negative talk. Yeah. UK government is a curse. I can go for that. Yeah. Yeah. It's a pause for some way. Oh, it is so true, man. It is so true. I mean, and we write it and we speak it, and then people want to know, why are things so messed up, man, in their lives? And they're all freaking out, and I just got to get some help, and man, I can't even, yeah. The best thing for most people to do is duct tape. Shut up and get your head right. You're a god, and you need to start acting like a god. Now, that doesn't mean that you become arrogant, prideful, obtuse. No. Humility is the strongest trait any god could have. It's true strength. To remain humble at all times, powerful. That's a person who's got their shit together. A person who has humility, true humility, is a powerful, powerful God. And I like this idea. Been around, but I think it's time for us to start incorporating it into our mindset, particularly within the enclave of this group. It's certainly better than the alternative. It really is. I wonder what humanity would look like if humanity realized that they're a species of gods in every true sense of the word. I don't think we'd want to stay on Earth very long, would we? I think once we corrected things here, we would definitely begin to go out there. Just my thought. Just trying to read in the chat room. This is what Friday is doing. It's hard when you're doing that because you can't keep up in the conversations. There's so many. But I think this is a great idea. I mean, that's why when people start talking about the devil and, the scariness of cemeteries and, places where the dead and they go looking for ghosts. And, if you go looking for spirits, you're going to find them. I mean, it shouldn't be any mystery if you catch them on film. But I always laugh because when I see these films, every one of these people run away. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. That's what you wanted to do. I thought you wanted to find a ghost. So one showed up and you pee your pants and leave. It goes to show you. I mean, it's that programming, man. It's like, oh, man. Monkey experiment, the gods must be crazy. Exactly. Folks, we've got to learn to laugh. We've got to let the joy back in. We are gods. We create. We may be micro gods. That's cool. At least we're in the club. It's like, okay, yeah. I may not be the strongest one in the bit, but the thing is how I've gone through life. It's like being the first time I went into Burnett Balin, the state home. It was scary. It was, unsettling. New place, new environment, new people. But the thing is, I go back and I relive my childhood because my childhood person really is a very smart person, teaches me a lot in my adult person. And my child person reminds me all the time, which is me, that he says, Wayne, how you succeeded was that you learned to adapt very quickly. I've had to learn to adapt. So have you. The adaptability is what makes us unique. And then we learned and we adapt and we grew. Many of us who would cry at night, praying, actually just not praying to anything, just talking. Little did we know we were talking to ourselves. And as a God, that is something. As a God, it's quite a marvelous thing to come into this realm, even if we were sentenced. Let's just say that's the case. Doesn't matter. It's the death realm. I know I'm not going to be here forever. Hallelujah. But it's quite interesting to see I'm a spirit being. And I've witnessed myself in many physical incarnations within this lifetime. I mean, I am still that 10-year-old boy, bright, intelligent, same way as I am today at 66. It's a marvelous thing. The day of my departure is, it's there. It's in the future, not today, not tomorrow. But I'm preparing now because I don't want to be caught off guard on the other side. And if there's one thing that I have found, what they call magic, the occult, the knowledge, it's merely another representation of what awaits on the other side. Now, what I've learned in my magic is that I am not dependent upon another spirit. When I do my circles, and they're quite elaborate, I've shown you before in the videos what they look like, but many times I just sit in there and meditate. I'm in my sphere, and that sphere begins to literally move into other realms. And the beings that I talk to, I don't need to invoke another spirit for my desires. I'm a God. I can manifest my desires. I don't need another spirit to manifest what is mine. Now, I don't have a problem teaching it because I think it needs to be taught. But for my stake, where I stand, I'm aware of these spirit beings. I'm aware of their position. Do they actually exist or not? They ask the same thing of me. Do you really exist? I think so. Damn sure hope so. And that's why we'll continue it. I think we need to know about the older ones, these ancient ones. I mean, many people were afraid of Lilith. I really never had a fear of her because, for me, I never really I never heard that much about her, number one. But that which I did, it was not connected to the culture that I was in. But I can tell you now, after studying her in depth, actually have an encounter with her, these last 60 months have been interesting because I'm aware of, I have gained an empathy for a spirit being that if that's what that spirit went through, how could you not have compassion? And I look at these spirits now that if they are still where they are, then where's the progress? Where's the progress on the other side? I mean, imagine this. I'll just pick someone. Kent Cook, I'm going to use you. So Kent Cook is the god of wealth. All right. So Kent, you've been around now for nearly 10,000 years. And throughout those 10,000 years, you've had many humans in many different forms or iterations come to you, make sacrifice to you, plead to you, pray to you, invoke you, etc. You get my idea, to help them get rich. There's nothing wrong getting rich. It's the other thing behind it. But so Kent, wouldn't that get to be a prison sentence for you? I mean, what is your purpose on the other side? Is it merely to be a slave to these gods called humans? You see, this is what one of the spirits that in the book, The Lesser Keys of Solomon, that I wanted to talk to. And they brought a different perspective. Until humans set them free, they're prisoners. Oh, we call them demigods, we call them archons, we call them demons, we call them, etc., angels. It's just a matter of your perspective. Because isn't the purpose of ascension on the other side is to ascend into the other dimensions, the other planes above this physical one? But imagine being called a god or a goddess and you are stuck here. The humans, they serve out their death sentence, they move on. But you as a god or a goddess are stuck to deal with another generation, another generation. You see how this goes? Thank you, Suzanne. Oh yeah, yeah, with Megan and the young prince, wayward prince. Well, anyway, lots to think about. Because, it's just a matter of the perspective. I mean, I don't know then what is the purpose on the other side. Someone said, well, do you know where you're going? Well, I can tell you this much. I'm going back to what I was. Now, I have my own thoughts about that. Is it or is it not? We'll find out. But I know as a person believes in their heart, so they are. It's also where it says, out of the abundance of the mouth, the heart speaks. Who is that? Is that Drex? My happy hour. Cheers, my friend. Cheers. It's just a different perspective. When I sleep, I go back home. I know it. And I have absolutely no doubt of that. And I have spirit guides that minister to me. And I'm in class just like you. I get my knuckles rapped just like you. But the thing about it is, I am grateful for the journey here. It has and will be one of the most fascinating that I have experienced. And I got a lot more to experience. So do you. Hey, David Barry, where you been, brother? Been busy. Oh, you have two days off. Well, soak it up, my friend. Absolutely. So anyway, all right, that was Friday. But I think it's worthy enough to be thought about. I mean, I never really looked at in conjuring spirits or, even with the Holy Spirit and what have you, that, boy, talk about the mundane. I mean, really, this just came about last night. What I'm sharing with you right now was the fact that it was told to me more. Let me express this. There are many spirits out there that love humans, gods. They're not created like us. And they are so willing to help. But the problem is we try to get them to help us in the wrong way in which they're not able to do. I've written this to a number of you who have written me in emails. If you're moving into a new neighborhood, learn the neighbors. Learn what the spirit is of that neighborhood. And don't be so quick to be invoking a spirit that you don't know. Let them come over. They'll knock on the door. And if you want to open up the house, then that's up to you. But I can tell you this, all spirits respect. If you show respect and acknowledge that they exist, you will find a reciprocated in-kind energy. Now, you can also piss them off. That sucks. But anyway, all right, folks. Kirk Plain, I like that. I refer to the term spirit as friends. I like that. I get to know my neighbors really thick. Spirit woman, I know that feeling. I know it. This group is so great. All will be revealed. Brandy, Kashmir, you got that right. That is a great song. The words of that song are powerful. All right. So I think tonight, the Andromeda 7 Celestial Gateway, or whatever I think that channel is, I think they have their show on tonight. Tomorrow night over there on the Milky Way Soul Tribe, Robert V. Check him out with Miss Trina. Alex just got his trailer and heading to Georgia. Oh, there you go. Thank you. and tickling agrarian jargon. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. All right. Well, have a great Saturday and Sunday, weekend, strong end, whatever you want to call it out. Enjoy yourself. And think about what I talked about. You are a god or a goddess, and you have remarkable powers and abilities. So don't be denied. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to fear with knowledge. And grow, baby, grow. All right, folks. Much love to you all. Yes, Saturday night. That's correct. Is that 8 p.m.? I think 10 p.m. East Coast. All right. Peace and love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Favor to all of us. Nina, have a great one. She's got a new video coming out. Great. Much love to everyone. See you on Monday. And hey, you are God. That's all I can say. That's my testimony, and I'm